Hey there everyone, That Sexy Nerd is back again, and we're watching Superman 2 from Nostalgia Critic. And this one is my personal favorite of the original movies, the Christopher Reeve movies. As you can see, I'm finally wearing the right colors for this one too. So, yeah, and it was totally a mistake. But anyway, I loved this movie as a kid. Like, I didn't watch it as much as I would watch Batman again because, you know, Batman took precedence. But it honestly took me, if I ever get around to doing Nostalgia Critic, the 1989 Batman, I'll explain my story with Batman in 1989 because it's actually kind of an interesting story. But anyway, I always loved this movie way better than the original because I felt like things were happening in this one. It felt like everything from the first movie was being paid off, you know, because you don't really see Superman fight anybody. Like, yeah, you see him get damaged by kryptonite, but as Smallville has always shown us, that can get a little old. But anyway, I don't know if they do that in this one though. I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, I'll admit. But I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid. However, again, this movie always just seemed like it was had a lot more action in it, a lot more, you know, because not only is Superman fighting not only is he fighting people who are equal to him, he's fighting the new master, General Zod. And man, is there more an iconic Superman villain than the original Terrence Stamp, General Zod? I dare you, honey. I dare you. Well, I mean, obviously Lex Luthor, but still, you know, he really made his mark and everything. He made his mark in the original movie. I love that thing too. It was the first time where I had seen a movie actually continue the story that it started in the original movie. But like, there was nothing. There was just, you know, Zod just being sent into the Phantom Zone and nothing else happens. And it's like, why the hell did we even show that? But they were planning it from the beginning. And it kind of seems seamless, you know? Even though this is a different director from the original movie, it just seems like the same thing, you know? It felt like it was from the same director as the first movie. And it's what I wanted in the original movie. So that's why it appealed so much to me when I was a kid. However, I still never watched it as much as I watched the animated series. Because the animated series really, you know, first of all, he was teamed up with Batman. Case closed. And it had a lot more fighting in it. And that's what I had grown to expect of Superman at the time. So, you know, so in the first movie, when he didn't do it, or he didn't do it as much, I was like, the hell? But when the sequel came out, and he starts doing all that stuff, I was like, oh, this is what I like. But also, it was the first time I was presented with this dilemma.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have anything to be sorry about.
Yeah. He revealed his identity to Lois Lane. And I was really shocked by that. I remember it was the first time I had seen it because even the animated series had never done that. And I was curious to see where they go with it. Sucks, though, when they completely retconned everything. And, you know, apparently Superman's kisses can knock Lois's memories out of her head. Again, like Nostalgia Critic said, did he use her tongue? Now you don't remember. The hell? So, that was always really funny, though. I even when I was a kid, I was like, what is that? So I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I'm really excited to get back into it. So, not much else to say on this one, so please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And let's do this thing, y'all.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
I swear that never happens.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. But he can also fly, so it's a tad less impressive when you know that.
All of them.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
Well, I'm not looking up for any of those things.
It's Superman.
Hello? The Nostalgia Critic, and welcome back to Super Month. Why, if it isn't General Zod with the exact same hairline he always has.
Oh!
General Zod. I'm here to say I won't be in this video. Sounds good.
No! Really? Damn. Oh, that would have been so funny.
Yep, the original Superman was the blueprint for a lot of superhero movies, including already planning the sequel. Superman 1 and 2 were shot back to back, but since director Richard Donner and the producers didn't get along, he was fired from Superman 2 and replaced with Richard Lester, another director who had a few big movies under his belt. This didn't seem to hurt the film any, as it was still released 2 years after the original and was still a box office smash.
Well, I would imagine.
Superman facing off not only against a super genius, but 3 superpowered Kryptonians.
Oof.
All the ingredients were there for an amazing sequel, and thankfully, too many cooks in the kitchen wasn't a problem. It's said to be one of the best superhero sequels ever, on top of arguably being the first superhero sequel.
It is.
Ton of fun, and we're gonna take a closer look at it.
Oh my goodness.
Despite General Zod not being in this review, no really, his hair looked exactly the same, like a wig wouldn't be distracting at all. Let's take a look at Superman 2.
I forgot just because you're
I
bald.
kinda like this recap where we recreate the majesty and beauty of planet Krypton with that John Williams epic music, only to end on this. It looks like the Kryptonian Home Shopping Network. I like, too, they make it look like rather than these 3 were captured and evidence was collected and it took months to develop a trial, they just commit the crime and zoinks, we're getting Judge Dredd and Scoob!
What?
Council has no hesitation in proclaiming you guilty.
Haha, we set one of our classic trial traps, complete with pop-up Judge Judy.
You're going to find that these 3 people deserve each other. Get a life, get a job. You're gone.
Well.
While the credits aren't quite as epic as the first one, it does a good job recapping the previous film. Again, a move other superhero movies would replicate years later.
Oh, yeah.
Back on Earth, we see terrorists
wow.
threatening the Eiffel Tower with a hydrogen bomb, and I really love Perry preparing what story to go with. And Lois Lane is trying to cover it.
Oh, mercy.
He's got it.
Mercy.
No, you'll be saying mercy after this.
Oh.
Moi, journaliste américaine.
What about
I will
episode
say, you
3?
can definitely tell which scenes were done by Lester and which ones were done by Donner. Donner is a little bit more soft focus with sweet
Right.
moments. Lester is a little more high exposure with a point and shoot mentality. The pacing's a tad different too, where Donner's flowed really smoothly and Lester seems just a tad sloppy at times.
Really?
The scenes in France aren't super long, but they feel like an eternity.
I don't remember any of this. What the hell did you do?
It's an elevator! What more is there?
What?
It's me that controls the bomb, not the bomb that controls
That's
me.
so weird.
I miss
Is-
goofy terrorists like Cobra or Harry Potter's uncle.
Yeah, that is Harry Potter's uncle.
Saves the day though and launches
What?
the bomb into space, where coincidentally Zod and his team just happen to be flying by and breaks them free.
What?
After turning into a dis-
Okay. Alright. How does that Phantom Zone thing work? How does it work? Because I always remember the Phantom Zone being like this other dimension where you can just go, where you're banished to and you can't get out easily, even though it happened on Smallville. A couple of times, I think. Can somebody explain this disc thing to me that they're... Because this never made any sense to me. At all.
How did early DC films always do that?
Ha!
Luthor and Otis are still in prison, and he reveals he has a little black box that can track particular alpha waves.
Those alpha waves will take me north. Will give me Superman.
And it may also lead me to a better bald cap. Seriously, Hackman, is this such a scary monster to you? Meanwhile, on the moon, our trio of baddies see they're not the only visitors.
What kind of a creature are you?
Just a man.
Alright, I have to remind myself the first 2 movies have a bit of a body count.
Really? Oh.
Blow, bitch!
Why wouldn't they have a body count?
Stalling. What was that he said before?
Damn it, Cliff, how come whenever you're around, something always blows up?
Let's talk about the gas turbine.
Why is Cliff here?
They come from there, a place
Oh,
called...
and the Soviet Union?
They make their way to Earth just as Luthor makes his way out of prison.
I told you to...
I don't know how Luthor made that projector, but I do know this. Actually, no, I know nothing about how this was possible. There's gonna be a lot of cops that get fired. Paid leave.
Paid leave, that's right.
Miss Tessmacher made up. And
Right.
she helps him escape, leaving Otis behind.
Miss Tessmacher? Oh,
Otisburg, don't cry for me. Meanwhile, Lois and Clark are sent to Niagara Falls, disguised as newlyweds, to cover a story about how the bellboys are ADR'd first-time Christopher Walken impersonators.
What?
Here you are. If you'd like to carry Mrs. Smith over the threshold. Is this your first visit to Honeymoon Haven? Together, anyway.
Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Have a happy whatever.
That's actually how his part was credited. A happy whatever.
What? Imagine. Oh, I remember this Niagara Falls idiot.
Lois sees Clark's glasses are wet, so she cleans them, leaving him totally exposed as Superman for a moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
No, I've got no.
I remember that was so
Oh
cool.
my god, it's Thor!
Hey, Mom, look!
Oh.
Yeah, honey, that's nice.
What is up with
This
this?
acts like looking at something costs money.
What is up with
As
this?
slow as humanly possible, giving time for Superman to save him.
Way to go, Superman!
10 more minutes and he would have hit the bottom for sure. Lois finally puts together Clark is never around when Superman is, and she confronts him about it.
That every time Superman's around, you disappear.
Superman? You mean he was here?
Did he insist on more lenient child abuse laws?
I know, right? What is up with these original movies and having so much child abuse? Like, first a little girl, now this little boy. Jeez. What's next?
Meanwhile, Lex uses his black box to find Superman's home and locates a recording of his mother, similar to the recording of his father, though not quite as precise.
There appeared among us 3 rebel elements. I wish you had not asked me that.
You know, I'm beginning to think I could have taken over Krypton.
We were unable to change their evil natures, their evil ways.
She tells him about Zod and his 2 droogs, while Lois explains how certain she is that Clark is really the Caped Blue Satyr.
What's your hurry, Superman? I gotta admit, you know, your disguise is nearly perfect. You had me fooled.
That's why.
I mean, the glasses, nothing else. It's ingenious. She tosses herself in the water, expecting him to save her.
God.
She watched New Moon too.
No, she watched the original Spider-Man cartoon.
Mary Jane, will you marry me?
That might have even been more psychotic than the thing in Twilight, because at least she built up to that. Mary Jane just jumped right after Peter asked her to marry her. Woo! Somebody made a video on that one time too, saying how psychotic she was, and I'm really starting to remember a lot. Ooh.
I really do love that he doesn't save her. He instead uses his powers to throw a branch her way. Hey, if it doesn't work to spin the earth around again. See more and more why that's so dumb.
You're what I thought was Superman.
What a lot of women say 10 years into marriage. Meanwhile, the Zod patrol lands and inspects their newest conquest.
So this is Planet Houston.
Be a division of Planet New Texas. Well, if I'm gonna be the Messiah, I better start the water walking.
Jeez.
Thought only Jesus and Trump could do that. These 3 really are great villains. I'm always a sucker for aliens trying to understand our world.
I love these 3.
It's funnier when the aliens are evil conquestors. Yet
I know!
They're being benevolent.
The son of Jor-El will be my slave. Forever.
Cannot we do something more interesting?
I like the globe, but not this irritating noise. We have no more use for this one. Kill him.
The best way I can describe them is that they're like young YouTubers who got famous too quickly. They put in some work, but by blind luck, they fell ass backwards into power, and because they didn't fully earn it, they abuse it like hell and let their egos do most of the driving.
Yeah,
General
Jake
Dawson
Paul.
will take orders. He gives them.
Who else is seeing this? The whole planet Houston? Earth. You may continue.
Here is an autographed picture of me. Of course I carry them around, and no, you didn't need to ask for one. Back in Niagara, his hand accidentally gets burned, allowing Lois to once again figure out who he is.
You are Superman.
Yeah.
Ah, I knew this day would come. You almost let me drown, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why I did that.
Maybe you wanted to.
The scene is played about as perfect as you can imagine. Not only are both these actors incredibly believable in this moment, but I don't use this word often, it's very romantic.
It is.
We better talk.
I'm in love with you.
We really better talk.
You were literally making this scene blush. How charming are you two? Superman takes her to his home. Hey, what's this written in urine? Lex was here? Well, Zod
Oh,
and the
God.
rest of life a living hell for others.
What dumbass challenged that woman to an arm wrestling contest? Wow. Imagine that in Man of Steel. Come on. There are things that the Man of Steel movies did better. Come on, the fight scenes are better.
Please, mister.
He's the general.
Please, Mr. General. Please let me go.
Ah, those everyday English kids you find in 80s Houston.
I win.
80s
I
Houston.
won't win.
Again, YouTuber. Lois has to. Superman decides he loves Lois so much he wants to give up his powers and become mortal for her.
All your great powers on Earth will disappear forever. Once it is done, there is no return.
And when I say no return, I am lying. He steps in a crystal pod and has his powers taken away in an effect that's both my favorite and least favorite in the film. He's turning into altered beast. And he leaves the life of Superman behind.
You did all that for me? I don't know what to say.
I mean, I don't want to be called the Yoko Ono of superheroes, but I'm gonna be called the Yoko Ono of superheroes.
Never. I'm just, again, blown away by that because Smallville did something similar. What? Wow. But then again, it kind of makes sense if you think about it.
So, now that Superman is mortal, what do you want to do? Wow!
Pork. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I'm not
that.
gonna lie, I'm a little torn on this. I mean, Superman banged Lois in one of the PG films, no less.
Well.
Man, as a kid, this didn't really bother me, and I can't act like I wouldn't if I was him. But I'm not him. Superman is him. And as an adult, something about this feels odd.
Why?
Like, she was the prize he could never get. That goal that was just too far away. His duty
Bullshit!
was important. And then, in movie 2. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I guess I can't say I have a huge problem with it. It just kind of feels like fan fiction. Except, you know, in fan fiction, the bed would look like this. The evil trio break into the White House and demand our country be handed over to Zod.
I'll kneel before you if it will save lives.
It will.
I do for the sake of the people of the world.
Yes, and as the president of the world, I'm sure all the other countries will be fine with this.
Yeah, right.
Lois and Clark drive from the fortress. How? Is there a rent-a-car out there? And they drop by a
They obviously flew somewhere where they could rent a car. Come on, Doug.
diner where someone is moving in on Clark's lady.
Uh-oh.
Your seat's in there, Four Eyes.
Excuse me, sir. Would you care to step outside?
Clark.
I literally let a guy who pointed a gun at her go, but now I have no powers, so screw the peaceful route. Clark gets his ass kicked, though, and for the first time ever experiences pain. And again, to Reeves' credit, he really looks like a guy who, for the first time ever, is experiencing pain.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Clark?
Blood. It's my blood.
No, Clark, it's just ketchup. It's not real blood. Supes also sees that the planet is taken over by Zod, who's calling him
Do not notice.
Come to me, Superman. Come. Come and kneel before Zod.
He looks like a guy who would command a person named Superman to do that. Clark says he has to go back and get his powers, so Lois drives him, or he walks. And he returns home where he gives the only bad line read I think I've ever heard him give in a Superman movie.
What?
I failed.
It's almost like he wanted to surprise someone into giving his powers back. Well, I guess I'll just go home. Boo! Ha! Now you have to make me Superman! But he finds the green crystal that built his home, and I guess that's enough.
Would you care to step outside?
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and you might have noticed I've been really quiet about the Donner cut. You see, after Donner was fired, there's a lot of talk about what Donner's original vision was.
I think I saw the Donner cut.
In 2006, they compiled what they had and released it. And I might be a minority on this, but I didn't think it was very good.
Really?
It is interesting, and there are some cool things about it. But the pacing is off, it goes on way too long, and half of it doesn't make sense, including wrapping things up by having him fly the Earth backwards again!
Oh no, I didn't see that.
That's
That's
serious. In fact, it actually makes this choice even crazier. When he goes back to fight the guy in the diner who beat him up, it's done after he time traveled. So it just looks like he's picking a fight with a random dude.
Gee, that's funny. Never seen garbage eat garbage before.
Everyone would be like,
What's wrong with it?
My first thought would be a lot.
now, you could totally argue too many things weren't filmed or too much of the script was changed, and fair enough. But either way, the end result just isn't that good. Except for the Brando scenes. You
What?
see, Brando wanted a ridiculous amount for his likeness to be used in the sequel, even after getting paid an ass amount for the first film. So the producers cut him out of their version. And while the mother is totally fine, I can't say there's anything wrong with her, the father is the one we have the strongest connection with, and it changes a lot of the story. When he goes back, it's the father that actually sacrifices what's left of himself so that Clark can have his powers returned.
What?
It bookends everything perfectly, for as he said, the father becomes the son and his power becomes his.
Even though it will exhaust the final energy left within me.
Father, no.
This is an essential scene missing from the original.
Damn
And
it!
is the best and most crucial moment in an otherwise lackluster cut. Except for Zod firing a gun. That's just the greatest thing ever filmed. Lex confronts Zod and tells him he can give him the one thing he doesn't have, Superman. And all it'll cost him?
What do you want?
Australia.
From what I understand, the 80s is going to be very profitable for them. He takes them to Lois
That's
Lane
Dundee.
and says if she's ever in trouble, he'll always appear, and appear he does.
Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
Seriously, there has to be a porn parody out there with that name. This
Ooh.
is a ton of fun and gives you everything you want to see from this scenario, including some ambitious effects for 1980s.
Yeah. This is really cool.
This is a wrestling promo.
Come on, Superman, kill him! Man, this is gonna be good.
They don't even try to move their kids when they're in danger.
Jesus.
just
Yeah.
cheat. No, this is
That
real.
was weird.
Is there even a baby in there?
There's not.
I've discovered his weakness. He counts.
I also love Zod being floored by the idea of anyone liking anyone else. I think it makes it clear that while these three work with each other, they probably don't like each other.
He actually cares for these Earth people.
Like pets.
I suppose so.
Like I was going to make you a non when I took over.
What?
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 No, aren't you aware? Superhero movies are fought under Pepsi signs now. Madam
Oh,
Web
wow.
won the Cola Wars.
Jeez.
It looks like too many people are at risk, except this guy who I'm just assuming is tripping balls. So Superman takes the fight to his home, which Lex happens to know the location.
Bow, yield, kneel. That kind of stuff closes out of town.
Why do you say this to me? When you know I will kill you for it.
I love the way he says that line. It's like when Stimpy pisses off Ren so much, he's actually a little happy about how much he's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
Angry?
I'm so angry.
The only man on earth with
Kill him.
Superman's address.
Super.
Said with a Spanish accent.
Yeah, what the fuck?
A
It's not
similar
even.
replica of a planet long since vanished.
Oh, this is great.
No style at all.
Okay, I'll just say it. I'm very okay with this guy ruling Earth.
Yeah. Oh.
Damn thing is. Lois and I used that in an earlier scene. It's like they can do this now. Yeah, the powers are limited to just whatever they want in the moment, I think. Also, what is it with her and hitting dudes in their goodies?
Yeah.
But everything stops when they threaten Lois.
Try to get them all into this molecule chamber.
I love this one scene when it goes from this intense fight to just keeping secrets at a party.
Turns them into ordinary human beings.
Hey, don't leave me out of the gossip. Inquiring Zods want to know.
Don't go in there, General. It's a trap.
And Luthor tells him that the pod will take away Soup's powers. I do like at first the red light is in the pod and now it's outside. Like, it's giving you a clue if you're paying attention.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I even
took away their powers and protected Superman, and they're all sent to the vague pit of death Elsa fell into in the last Crusade.
You know, I love that scene too because I felt like I was a kid and I was like, wait, if everything's a red sun, he has red solar radiation, so doesn't that take away his powers? And since he's in the crystal, I was like, wait a minute. And then when he shook his hand and did that, I was like, I knew it. It was I remember that memory so well. I loved it. I loved it. I don't know why. This movie is just, it appeals to me a lot better. Even though technically, I admit, it's not as good as the first one. But I just like it better. I just do. I like it better.
Superman can't outwit his greatest enemy of all, the status quo.
Oh, boy.
I'm selfish, and I'm jealous of the whole world.
Yeah, for some reason, the best Superman movies have the dumbest resolutions.
Yes, they do.
Superman kisses Lois to make her forget everything that happened.
Ow!
What's happening in the world?
Not only does this devolve relationship because now they fall in love, you know he can just erase her memory if he wanted to go back, which is kind of creepy when you think about it.
Yeah.
But as I've said in the past, he could literally stop a supervillain in their tracks by just kissing them and making them forget who they are.
Yeah.
Superman, allow me to explain my evil plot. Who the hell am I?
And don't lie, a really weird, messed up part of your brain, even if it was just for a second, thought of that too. And no Superman movie should be making you think that, even if it's just for a second. It does get better, though, when he goes back to get revenge on the guy who beat him up.
Yeah, that's just
I've been working out.
I'm also Superman. Oh, shit, now I'll have to kiss you. Wait, what? Brings him back to the White House, which obviously is still stuck in time from the last time.
Yeah, right, there was a
around.
picture.
All is right with the world.
I won't let you down again.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
And that was Superman 2. Not as good as the first, but still pretty great. There's a few awkward moments, and it's not as epic as its predecessor, but like the first one, the emotional storytelling allows you to look past all the flaws and enjoy both the campy and dramatic moments. It's a damn decent follow-up for what's almost a damn decent franchise. But sadly, only half of them are good, as the other two movies are quite bad.
Yeah.
We covered one of them, and the other... punish you.
His cape was flapping in the wind. He was flying.
Oh, God. I feel like I'm going to be in near physical pain when that movie comes on. It's going to be funny. It's going to be funny as hell, but... It's going to be like Twilight. It's going to be... I don't know. I won't say that. I won't entirely say that because, again, he came out with that Supergirl review, and that was honestly one of the funniest reviews he's ever done. So maybe it'll be great. But you're gonna know my opinion on the next movie by this shirt I'm gonna wear. So, yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait for that. But yeah, I do agree. I do. Again, I have to watch that movie. I haven't watched it because I would watch them together, like the first Superman movie and then the second. So I have to watch it again. I have to watch, like I said, I have to watch the original as well. Maybe I'll watch it for the channel. Let me know in the comments if you want me to watch it for the channel. And yeah, because again, I feel I remember more from this movie than I do in the first one because, again, a lot of moments, especially I feel a lot of moments that were in this movie have been replicated in other Superman media, the TV shows, other movies, comics, etc. And it's always great to see where they got their ideas from. I feel like, what it's like? It's like the original. It really reminded me of the Spider-Man movies because I think I'd watched it after the first two Spider-Man movies came out. I was like 14 or 13 or 14, and yeah, I was really surprised and shocked about how similar they are in tone and the amount of movies that would go on. Like, they just got bad. Well, again, I don't think Spider-Man 3 is that bad, but it's nothing compared to 2 or 1. So, yeah. But, in that case, Superman got 2 bad sequels. So, next week, we're hitting Superman 3, and oh boy, prepare to suffer with me. And remember, please, smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And I'll see you on the next episode.